Hello teachers, hope you're doing well. We're looking at 3 Nephi 28 today. This is an exciting one. This is our original 3 Nephites that are taking place here. So there's some interest, some excitement. You may even ask students as they're coming in class if they've heard any cool 3 Nephite stories. Don't take long. It's just meant to be fun, interactive as we get into the lesson. Many teachers are saying that they want to get more out of students, more talking, more discussion, more energy. And so we're going to look at that principle with this lesson. This one's going to facilitate that a little bit better because of its natural interest creating topic. As you can imagine, our objective is to help students feel an increased desire to bring others to Jesus Christ. 3 Nephite style, that's their desire. And so we're going to work on that. And so as we invite more students to do more, you look at how we start here. How would you respond if Jesus appeared and asked, what is it that you desire me? Why would you choose what you did? That's good, but I might even put a little buffer in there, a warm-up in there to start out, to get people talking and thinking. For example, I found this simple image of a lamp so I could show this, and I'll leave this PowerPoint in the description below, but show a lamp and say, what is it? Where would you find it? What do you do with it? And so everybody knows the answer. I know the answer, you do too. So they'd rub it and the genie would appear. Then what would you say? What would be one of your 3 wishes? Everybody's thought about that. I have, you have. And so this is a good way to get lots of talking. If only a few share, you could say, what about you, Sally? What about you, David, Tyler, Annie? What do you think? And just not too long. This is brief, but we're getting people thinking. Then we show the next picture, which is actually comes from this block of scripture. Say, well, we're going to look at something. This isn't a genie. This is Jesus here. And he asks a similar question. And maybe have them just look in verse 1 and see, well, what's the question Jesus asks? And it's, what desirest thou? Just ask students, how's that different than a genie? And what might your answer be like? How would your answer be a little bit different knowing that it's Jesus and he's talking about desires instead of wishes? This is an easy one to get more talking and more thinking. We then are kind of in the same area as the curriculum questions here, where we're just saying, okay, so how would you respond if Jesus appeared and said, what do you desire? That verse 1, what would you say? And why would you choose it? And so we're getting some talking out of that. We can then go back and say, let's look at a few more verses and find out who's here and what's their response. And we'll see that there's a response of the 9 and the response of the 3 that are right here by Jesus. And so this picture is a great illustration to keep us on topic and keep us thinking. So we can say, what did these 3, what did the 9 back here, what did they say? I think it's pretty common for people to be interested in situations where we can ask anything and receive anything. And this is Jesus, the creator of the world. This is pretty cool. So we're getting more out of more students, and we want to keep that flow going. And so we're going to keep looking, and I like this question here. Why do you think the 3 disciples desire to remain on the earth? Now, we're not going to throw the 9 under the bus, but this is a place where we can get more out of more, because this is a good question. I don't know the answer to it. But why do you think the 3 wanted that? And why do you think the 9 wanted something else? When students give a good answer, that's wonderful, but we want more students to give more good answers. So if Sally gave a great answer, you can then turn to Tyler and say, Tyler, I like what Sally, what do you think? And Mary, what about you? What do you think on this? Why did the 3 and the 9, why did they choose different things? What do you think was up with that? And get more out of more by poking at the question. Don't be satisfied with just 1 or 2 good answers. Try to get many good answers. So we're getting more out of more. Let's keep going. We're going to poll the students and just see where they're at with this. I look for opportunities to tell people about Christ. I pray for opportunities. I feel desire, and just have them regularly, sometimes or rarely. We're self-assessing where we're at. And we're saying, am I a little bit more like the 9 or a little bit more like the 3? And you could ask them, are you a little bit more 9-like? Are you a little bit more like the 3? Where do you fit in that? So we're then going to engage in an activity that I think we can ride for about the rest of the lesson, really. So we could in a study journal, but I'd encourage a page, a full page that looks like this. Just like the teacher manual says, give them a full page and have them draw a line down a small portion of it, draw a stick figure, And then we're going to label 5 things that make it difficult to share the gospel with others. Chances are we're all a little bit more like the 9 than the 3, right? And so what are some reasons? And have them label the picture. Tell them we're going to use this picture the whole class. So that's this idea in the blank space. And we're going to have students just share some of the things. But we then want to say the objective of this lesson, it's right at the top here. We want to, where is it? There it is. Help students, each other, all of us have an increased desire to bring others to Jesus Christ. So we're going to try to learn from the 3 Nephites and see if we can get something from that. So you'll notice that there's just a bunch of scriptures here. We're going to just read into what are they learning? What are some teachings that they lived and believed that gave them a greater desire to share the gospel with others? And so I think you could almost at any point write the reference on the board and then turn them loose on their page and say, what are some of the teachings? What are some of the teachings that could help somebody feel a greater desire to share the gospel? And see what you can find in those verses. How about now let's go, and you want more out of more, so have them read it on their own. Go to verses 7 to 8, verses 9 to 10, and same thing, just keep writing answers here on your list of things that could help someone feel a greater desire to share the gospel. And you're going to talk about these as students. You say, what did you write down? What did you find? Okay, let's go find some more. So we're going to go to Doctrine and Covenants 18 now and do the same thing and just write them down. And then ask students, what did you find in section 18? What did you write down? And ask them, what do you think it means? And why is it that that gives you a greater desire? And you're just asking more from students. We'll ultimately decide that, and may want to write this on our journals, or if we haven't, as we make efforts to bring souls to Jesus Christ, we experience joy. We have a greater desire to be like the 3 Nephites because they desired and taught and focused on joy. Anyway, this is going to be a great lesson. Have a fun time with it. Try some things that you haven't tried before. May the Lord bless you in all that you do.